T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Bug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart.
This is as far as you go. No more.
Hello, Sydney. Are you God damn me.
Wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. His body was never recovered from the lake after he drowned.
You let him drown. You should have been watching him.
Maybe listen to the old timers in town. They'll tell you he's still out there, stalking. Some folks claim they've even seen him. Right in this area.
Jason? He came back.
See, Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
He was actually there. He watched his mom being beheaded.
You need to be punished for what you did to him.
Jason should have been watched every minute.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her. Don't let her get away, Mommy.
He wasn't a very good swimmer.
Ooh, baby. 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 What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today
Well, it's Sunday. It's a Sunday horror hangout, and with we, I mean me and my guest on Sundays for the Sunday horror hangout, Mad Matt from Mad Matt's Mask. We are jumping into Friday the 13th. 2 years. It has been 2 years since we ranked these movies, Matt. I watched the old video a little bit today, and man, were we new. What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Michael, what's up, buddy? Everybody from Movies and Beyond. What is going on? I missed you guys. And Michael, you bring it as always, dude. You bring it as always. Your Jason intro, dude. It's I was talking a little bit today. In my shop, you've been there. I have a lot of really cool Friday the 13th props that are signed and whatnot that are sitting there collecting dust, and I feel like it's because we need our bad dude back on the big screen so desperately. Yeah. It's been just way too long, dude. But I just what you can do with your media and how you I could have taken a year and not put together the clips of Jason like you did. It got me excited. Dude, I love Jason, man. We've talked a lot. Like, he is just a hair behind Michael for me. Like, and then that says a lot, dude. I like a lot of horror icons, and Jason Voorhees is my number 2 just by a hair. But I couldn't be happier to be back with you fine people ready to talk about one of our favorite slashers, Jason Voorhees, dude. Let's get it.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about, dude. And the funny thing about this, dude, is it's been 2 years, right? We always said when we did those initially 2 years ago, it's like, we'll revisit it in a year. Well, we didn't. So it's been 2 years. So it's like, look, we got to come back. We got to see what's changed, what's different. I know the people viewing love Jason. They love Michael. They love Freddy. They love Scream. And we've hit all of those, dude. And we did it 2 years ago. So it's time. It's time that we come back, man. We revisited Halloween. We went through that. That was our first. Now we're at Friday the 13th. Freddy's next. Scream will be after that. So we have plenty of stuff to get to within these next couple months. They won't be back to back, but we're going to get to all of them, man. And we're going to see where we stand now, compared to 2 years ago, man, because things change, dude. They change. We watch these movies, even though they're old, we watch them over and over again because we're fucking fans, and that's what we fucking do, and it changes. And I love to see, because, we have, when we first started, dude, when we did this last time, we probably had like 5 or 6 people in the chat. There wasn't enough. So a lot of people are seeing these, unless they went back to watch the old videos, for the first time of us sitting here and really talking about the order that we like these movies in, man. And I love doing it, because right now, dude, we have the best community in the fucking world, period. I don't care what anybody fucking says. You guys are all fucking awesome. And I can't wait to do this with this group of people. There were a couple people they're in the chat today that were at the initial one 2 years ago, but not many. So it's fucking awesome, man. I can't wait to do this, dude. I'm fucking amped about it. Friday's my jam, so I'm just fucking ready to fucking go, dude. Ready to fucking go tonight. Let's see how many beautiful people we have in the chat tonight. I see that Jerry Wilson was in the chat, and he said, hello, Michael and Matt. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about.
What's up,
Jerry? What's up? And earlier this week, Matt, I forgot to tell you about this. I didn't get to tell you, but we had the return. Russell Dorsey is back in the chat saying, what's up, everyone? I smashed that like button. Hope everyone is having a wonderful night. Let's smash that like button if you haven't already. This should be interesting. Let's get this party started. Hell yeah.
Dude,
hell yeah.
Dude, I'm serious. I feel like Russell is such a staple of Movies and Beyond. Like, I feel like he just made everything official. Like, dude, great to see you on here, Russell. I had a few breaks. So for me to come back and then boom, Jerry Russell pops up, dude. I feel like I'm back at home, dude. I love it.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, that's what I'm freaking talking about. All right, Jerry also mentions, please consider joining Movies and Beyond on Patreon. He provides the link below. Big link there. But if you'd like to support Movies and Beyond outside of YouTube, you can do so at the link that Jerry posted in the chat. You can do so. That's how we keep the lights on at Movies and Beyond. Bonus content over there, stuff that you can't really see on YouTube. So if you want to check it out, Jerry has provided the link in the chat. Let's see who else we have in the chat. I see that Michael Glotzbecker is in the chat as well, saying, good evening, everyone. What's up, Michael? I hope you're doing well, my friend.
Yeah, man. Michael, what is up? And Michael, you got a chance to speak with Michael a little bit in the booth and his beautiful wife. They picked up the Freddy vs. Jason diorama today, which is just a beautiful piece. But it's so great to see you guys here on Movies and Beyond. Welcome, and yeah, it's so great to see you guys on here.
And one thing before I continue with the chat, you know, I just want to say this. I can't believe I didn't say this at the beginning. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I haven't talked to anyone since Thanksgiving, so I hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving and had a great little 4-day weekend there. And what better way to wrap up a 4-day weekend is the bullshit about Friday the 13th on Movies and Beyond. Am I right, Matt? I mean, that sounds like a
absolutely,
good time.
Absolutely, man. You know, and you know, I could lie and say I had a terrible Thanksgiving, but then I just turned to the side and it speaks for itself. My belly, dude. I tore it up, man. Mom's cooking. The older and the more years she has on her, the better that cooking gets, man. But yeah, Michael, I'm right there with you, man. I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving.
I definitely did some damage this weekend, food wise. So I'm definitely I'm gonna pay for it this week at the gym, but it's fine. You know, I knew I was gonna do it. So tomorrow's gonna be a little harder than normal, but I welcome it. Thanksgiving's definitely worth it for sure. Melissa, the wild card, is in the chat as well, saying, hey everyone, what's up, Melissa? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to see you here. I see Oracle 684 is in the chat as well, saying, when it comes to Friday the 13th, Iron Man, I'm going to hang out in the chat and watch this live stream. That's what I'm talking about, my man. I hope that you are doing well. Oh, let's see here. Let me get through. God, you guys are going a mile a minute, and I freaking love it. And James has entered the chat. The Shape is in the chat saying, hi, everyone. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. You too, James. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving too, buddy.
Yeah, James, let me tell you something, man. James is just, he's a horror community just supporter to the T, man. Like, I want to say that, like, James has supported the booth since we first started, since we were nothing. He's been on the channel here since, you know, we had, like you said, back when we had 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I know I'm speaking for everyone, James, that we really, really appreciate it, dude. We love you, man. And yeah, I'm so glad you had a great Thanksgiving, dude. But hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Lydia's in the chat as well, saying, Heidi ho, officers. What's up, Lydia? What is going on?
Heidi ho, Heidi ho. Obviously, I felt, you know, blessed that I got to spend Thanksgiving with Lydia. So yeah, we had a wonderful time for sure. So hello, Lydia.
Gina is in the chat saying hi from Gina. What's up, Gina? Hope you're having a fantastic evening.
Hello, Gina.
Jeff DeAngelo is in the chat as well saying, hey, everybody, happy Horror Sunday. What's up, Jeff? I hope you're having a great Sunday, sir. Always good to see you here.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, Jeff?
Michael Evans is in the chat saying Jason X is my least favorite. I don't rank Freddy versus Jason because I consider it a nightmare film. Jason Lives is my favorite. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I think you said one good thing for you, Michael, and one bad thing, if I'm not mistaken. Like, yeah.
Possibly. But we put them all in here.
I know you, buddy. I know you, buddy.
We put them all in here. My list surprised me tonight, so we'll see how this goes. I see Paula's in the chat as well saying hi to everyone. What's up, Paula? I hope you're having a great Sunday. Always good to see you here, my friend. I see that Michelle is in the chat as well saying hello, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, Michelle. I hope you're doing well.
Hello, Michelle.
John is in the chat saying, hello, happy December 1st, everyone. The champ is here. The champ is here.
You had to say it, didn't you,
The
Michael?
champ
You
is
had
here.
to say
I
it.
got you. I got
The
you, John. I got you. What's up,
The
John?
champ is here. He's also, his belt is in the works, Michael. I've got a nice shiny black coat on it, and we'll add we'll add the rest here soon. But it's looking good.
I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait.
It's a shame I'm gonna have to take it right from him.
Oh, well, we'll see. I see Tim Pumpkin is in the chat as well, saying, "Hey everyone, been a while. What's up, my man? I hope you're doing well. Happy Sunday, bro. Always love when you come by, Tim."
Yeah, Tim, what's going on, buddy? What is going on, man? Tim actually, he stopped by, he picked up a beautiful, kind of like custom rehauled mask. It's like its own design. It's like a dream sequence Rob Zombie Halloween 2, but it looks like almost you might have seen it, Michael. It looks kind of like chrome, with like a wet look to it. But yeah, Tim picked that up today. And his collection, man, is just getting insane, and I love it, man. I love the horror collections that these people are putting together, man. It's beautiful.
Speaking of collectibles, I see somebody has stopped by for Friday the 13th. Caleb from Caleb Creations is in the chat saying, yo, what's up, Caleb? What's up, my man? I hope you're doing well, sir. If you haven't checked out Caleb Creations, go check out Caleb Creations. That shit is awesome.
Yeah, and like you said, Michael, speaking of like collectibles, yeah, check out Caleb Creates. It's they're some of the finest pieces I personally have in my collection. His work is just it's second to none. It's all done by hand. It's stupid good is what it is. But what's up, Caleb? Great to see you in here, my friend.
Well, yeah. Let's see. The general's in the chat. Val from Val's Views is in the chat, and the general always gets a salute from Movies and Beyond. What's up, Val? Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Mr. Lauderdale is in the chat saying, hello, everyone. Jason is number one in my. I like you, Mr. Lauderdale. That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, my man? I hope you're doing well. I think that I may have gotten everyone, but every time I say that, nope. See, every time I say that, JKJ Urban Exploration is in the chat saying, hey guys, it's Caitlin and John. First time tuning into the stream. Love it. That's what I'm talking about. Welcome to Movies and Beyond. I hope that you have a great time, and I hope this is your first of many hangouts here at Movies and Beyond. Welcome.
Yeah, man, it's great to see you guys in here. Welcome to Movies and Beyond.
Dominic St. Clair is in the chat as well, saying, hey to everyone. What's up, Dominic? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Goodness. Let's see. Jonathan Adams donates a super sticker of 99 cents. Thank you so much. You know what, Jonathan? That's the first super sticker I've ever gotten. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's freaking awesome. I have never done that. Have Cheetah Will View is in the chat. What is going on, my man? I hope that you are doing well, sir. Always good to see you here. Patrick's awesome. If you guys haven't checked out Have Cheetah Will View, definitely go over to YouTube and check that out. He is freaking awesome. Mad Mom, aka Teresa Stevens, is in the chat saying, hello, everyone. I hope you enjoy this awesome channel. Thank you, Teresa. I hope you do too. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hello, mother. I love you. Thank you for stopping by. I know you're super tired. It's been a long weekend, but yeah. Love you. Thank you for stopping by always.
Oh, yeah, man. I've gotten through the chat. I've said hello to everyone. If I missed you in the chat, it was not intentional. Throw up a message up there. I will definitely be sure to get you up and to say hello. I definitely want to make sure that I say hello to everyone. Actually, I have another person that has just popped up. Deanna is in the chat saying, hey to everyone. What is going on? How you doing? Happy Sunday. Welcome to Movies and Beyond.
Yeah. What's up, D? Michael, you would probably know D if you saw her.
Okay.
And she has a wonderful They're great. Dee and her husband Tom, great friends of mine. True horror fans. Dee came to you'll like this, Michael, and you might have seen her. She came to Scarefest with her own made jackal costume, full jackal, the cage from 13 Ghost.
Yeah, I know
And
the
she
jackal. I'm
knocked
trying to remember. Scarefest.
She
like
knocked it out of the park. But
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. What's up, D? Good to see you on here, my friend.
Blueprint GB is in the chat saying, when I see Jason, I click. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. Well, you were in the right place, my friend. Don't forget to hit that like button and welcome to Movies and Beyond for sure. All right. We're caught up again. So we are caught up again. If I missed you, I do apologize. You get another comment up there. I'll definitely get you up on the screen and say what's up to you. Matt, we are getting into Friday the 13th. We're getting into my man, Jason. I cannot wait to get into this, dude. Not only do I have my list ready for tonight, I also have our lists from last time we did this. I can't speak for you because I don't know what you're about to say, but mine is surprisingly different. So I made my list prior to looking up the other one. So I didn't want to cheat. And I told myself, once I look at these up and I make these lists, I'm not changing it for nothing, because I don't want my past picks to influence my current picks. So we're going to roll with it, man. We're definitely going to roll with it, man. There are 12 movies in this franchise, 12 movies that we have counted. We included the remake and we included Jason or Freddy versus Jason. So those will be included in our rank tonight, Matt. And we are going to start off with number 12. And with you being the guest, Mad Matt, the guest on the Sunday Horror Hangout, you, my friend, will go first for tonight. What do you have for number 12?
Don't worry, guys. It is up here. But I'm also trying to get it on paper a little bit. But number 12, it never changes. I don't see it ever changing. Number 12 for me, I just can't do it, guys. Jason Goes to Hell. The entire... I've never been the whole... shapeshifter type of outer body, changing bodies. Never really been my jam. So then to put it on my Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th franchise that I love, absolutely love. It was just, it crushed me. It's been a long time ago, so, I've come to terms with it now. But back when this movie first hit, I'll say, dude, it did some damage, Michael. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot like that experience I had. I can compare it to the Halloween 3 type of deal.
Okay.
You're not giving me Michael Myers. In a sense, I felt like they weren't really giving me Jason Voorhees in this movie.
Right.
Yeah. And then say you take that away, and you're like, okay, let's just watch this movie for what it's worth. Even at that, I just did not get a whole lot from this film. Yeah. So it's bottom of the barrel for me, guys. Cannot get into Jason Goes to Hell for any reason whatsoever. Now, I will say the beginning I thought was pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
It kind of had me feeling, we went back to the woods, and there was a shocker, they're lighting this guy up, a couple minutes into the film. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it takes a nosedive.
Right.
Like the Titanic, man. The sucker just sinks, brother. Number 12, Jason Goes to Hell for me, buddy.
Well, here's what I did. I watched Jason Goes to Hell last night. I told you about that a little earlier today, which is fine, because it had been a while since I watched it. Man, I will say this about it. It is my number 12, which I'm pretty sure that Patrick is about to bail on the stream already, because I know he's a fan. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have, difference of opinions. But I will say something good about this movie. You touched on, a lot of the bad things, Matt. And I do agree with a lot of those for sure. I do agree that I love the beginning of this movie for the simple fact that it felt Friday the 13th. Maffredini was back. The score was there. It felt like Friday. The car's pulling up. You've got the girl in the cabin. It just feels Friday. You get all the transitions to where, she opens the medicine cabinet and she closes it with the mirror. You're expecting maybe Jason's behind her. All these little tropes, that they go through that feels Friday as fuck. It's just like, I love this, man. She burns out the light bulb. She's got to go out to the shed to get another one. It's like the door slams. I'm like, here we go, man. This feels like Friday. But again, it became something different. And I will give them this. I will definitely give them this. They did something different. They took a risk. They did something different. But I will say this too about this movie, Matt. It had a freaking awesome kill in this movie. The tent scene where the two people are in the tent, they're doing their business. And that fucking pole goes in that girl and then splits her. It goes up the top and it splits her whole body. And that was gnarly. That was freaking gnarly. That kill is up there for me. Granted, it wasn't in Jason Voorhees' hands, but Friday the 13th, I'm putting that top 5 or 6 kills for me in the franchise. That was freaking awesome. This movie did bring Creighton Duke into the Friday the 13th world. We got Creighton Duke out of this. I do enjoy Creighton Duke. I felt like Jason needed that type of competition with Creighton Duke. I wish they hadn't, killed him off in the movie because I would have liked to see more of him. But at the end of the day, as much as I love this franchise, I'm just not, it's my number 12. Number 12. Let's see. One thing that Have Cheetah Will View is saying, I just don't think fans know the whole background of how Jason Goes to Hell got made. I do know a lot about this movie. They talk a lot about it, especially on the Camp Crystal Lake Camp Crystal Lake. I don't know. I have the Blu-rays over by my TV.
I think it's like
all of them. What's that?
Is it like Crystal Lake Memoirs or something?
That's what it is. Thank you. Yes, Crystal Lake Memoirs. Yeah, they went into it on that. I do have the Blu-ray special features from the box set as well. So definitely, it was cool to see Jason. It was cool that Jason killed Kane Hodder in that movie, though. I always say that that's cool. And the mere fact that Kane Hodder is like, Jason wasn't nothing but a big old pussy anyway. You know what I mean? Talking about himself, that shit was fucking awesome. I do want to take a small little break, and Jerry has gifted 2 Movies and Beyond memberships. Jerry, thank you so much, my friend. It means the world to me for everything that you do for the channel, man. And for you to invest like you do in this channel, dude. I thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. You are the freaking man. Let me check this right here. Let's see. I see that. Yeah. Okay. We're good to go for number 11. Number 11, Matt. Oh, real quick. 2 years ago, Matt, both of us picked Jason Goes to Hell as our number 12. So that did not change. Our number 12 2 years ago, you picked Jason Goes to Hell. I picked Jason Goes to Hell. Unfortunately, that hasn't changed at all. But yeah, that's where we're at. Let me try to catch up on the chat just a little bit here. I'm sorry. I'm getting behind you guys. Michelle is saying, I'm too rusty on my Friday the 13th films to have much to say. If we were having this conversation anytime between the ages of 15 and 30, I'd be on point. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I get it. Trust me. Patrick is saying Jason himself got waxed. Only Jason X saw Jason get dealt worse. I got you. Russell's asking, what mask are you wearing, Matt? What mask is that you have on there?
So sorry, you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I dropped it. I dropped an earbud. This guy, dude. The name has escaped me. But I can surely get it to you, Russell. He does phenomenal work. There's a guy on Etsy. The first piece I picked up from him was a Myers Back from Hell concept mask where he was, kind of, deformed on one side. And I do apologize, buddy. I'll see if I can't get Lydia to find that, and I'll put it on here a little bit later. But he's got killer products, and his prices are decent. This mask is a thick latex. Like, yeah, he's done me great, man. Like the hood, the mask, and all. I think I spent like $150. Yeah, killer stuff. I'll get that name to you, buddy, as soon as I remember it or figure it out.
All right, my man. Number 11 for you. Where are you at, sir? Friday the 13th. Number 11.
That's why I was happy to stall, Michael. I was happy to stall because one thing I've got to say is I enjoy. I've told you this. I've probably said on the channel multiple times that honestly, as far as box set to box set, I kind of even favor the box set of Friday the 13th over Halloween, even with Halloween, being my number one jam. Yeah. So we're not really, aside from Goes to Hell, really we're not talking about movies that I dislike anymore, and it just pains me. It pains me to say number 11, because it's the original.
Okay.
It's the original.
Going OG for 11?
Yeah, already at number 11. It's not something that I enjoy. It's just there's that in the Jasons that I don't really care for that much. I at least still get Jason. And for me, that is hard to beat.
I got you.
So, man, what I'm saying, dude, I think this could even change, Michael, honestly. Like, it could change next week because I didn't get a chance to go through the whole Friday the 13th. And the original is one I've seen probably like 2 to 3 times, very little. Mm-hmm. But it always goes up a little bit when I do see it. I'll say that because there's nothing I really don't like about it. And it set the groundwork. It seriously is that simple. It comes down to, damn it, I love Jason. I love seeing Jason. It really comes down to that. It really comes down to that, man. So as much as I hate to have it at 11,
yeah,
it's the OG for me, man.
Hey, man, you like what you like. You like what you like, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 11 for me. Oh shit, that was my list from last year. This probably won't be a popular, opinion either. But it kind of falls in line with what you were talking about. And it's the other one that I watched this morning because I wanted to catch up on it. I don't watch it that frequently. Friday the 13th, Part 5 is my number 11 for the mere fact that, again, we have, it's not Jason, but yet he's doing Jason things. He's doing supernatural Jason things. So you're amped up for it to be Jason. It's not Jason. Still to this day, kind of I'm shitty about, for the simple fact that I wouldn't have been as shitty if he wasn't doing Jason type things. Like, he walks through a door and the door explodes as he walks through. And yet this is a regular guy with a Jason mask on. It makes zero sense to me. There are very memorable characters in here. And you spoke about, hey, these are a lot of movies I still like, even though they're this far down on the list. Don't get me wrong. There are some good things about this movie. The characters in this movie are great. I wasn't huge on Tommy Jarvis in this movie, but Reggie the Reckless, Melly Kinnaman's Tina, I really enjoyed as a character. Miguel Nunez, hell, he makes the intro. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. He makes the intro. A lot of memorable characters. There was a lot of good things. What's her name? The old lady. Oh my God.
Ethel.
Thank you. Yes. Cause I always remember that because in the show, Parks and Rec, there was an Ethel Beavers. But yes, Ethel, dude. Ethel is a hilarious character. I mean, I love when Ethel's on screen. I do. She makes me laugh. But for that wasn't enough, when we're talking about Jason stuff, for that to put it any further. So number 11 for me, I just gotta, it just has to happen. You know what I mean? Like that's where it has to go for me. I do want to say this. Michelle Guzman has gifted 1 Movies and Beyond membership. Michelle, thank you so much. It means the world to me. Everything that you do on this channel, 100%, from the horror shorts to you supporting every show that happens here. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. Again, thank you. Jeff D'Angelo has said, Michael Kaylee is now watching. What's up, Kaylee? I hope you are having a fantastic Sunday. Always good to have you here.
Yeah, hello, Kaylee, and I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, girl. Always good to see you on here.
Yeah, definitely. Tim is saying OG is okay, but a bit boring, I felt. The OG, it laid the groundwork for the rest of the series, but at the same time, it's kind of like a one and done. Once you know what's really going on with it, it kind of loses kind of a little bit of its luster there for sure. So I do see that.
I'll tell you, back to 5, like damn near everything that comes out of Ethel's mouth is hysterical. I like when the very, normal looking, strong, stout man comes and she's like, that's one ugly fucking dude. It's like who is she to talk like? Yeah. But that still cracks me up because I'm like, what was so ugly? It's just everything that comes out of her mouth is hysterical. Love Ethel.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
I'm not sure we shouldn't even maybe, something to bounce around, maybe one Sunday, like, characters from horror movies that had very little screen time, but made the biggest impact. Like that's something interesting to go down to.
Oh yeah, man. Okay. So are you ready for 2 years ago? What we chose is our number 11.
I think so.
I did Jason Takes Manhattan. That was my number 11. Which, when I really think about it, I could kind of see it being there. Matt, your number 11 2 years ago was Jason X. That was your number 11 2 years ago. So things have already started changing. We're only to the second one, which is crazy.
Okay.
All right, Matt, we are moving on to number 10.
Okay. Number 10 for me, man, is dude, it's I don't like rating certain Jasons, so low. But it's Jason X, it's Jason 10.
I gotcha.
And again, I feel like I've always been pretty much on board with you as far as, I understand its flaws. They're plain as day. I know its flaws, but I do enjoy the film. I do enjoy the film. I can pretty much watch it just about any time, but it's pretty low. It's pretty low on my Jason. It is what it is, man. It's one of those. They were ballsy. They were super ballsy making this movie.
Yeah, it was kind of like a filler. Like they were just looking for something to do until Freddy versus Jason came out. They made Jason Goes to Hell. It didn't happen as quick as they wanted, so they're like, "Well, we'll make Jason X, and then we can focus on Freddy versus Jason."
It was a filler bigger than shit, like But they filled it with some entertainment. They did, but it's not what I want to see. When I'm looking to sit down and have a badass, true Jason film. So
and I'll tell you this, and I always say this, there's a difference when we rank things there in any time in general, and how you feel about a movie is there's difference between, your opinion, like liking a movie and a movie being good, right? And I've said that multiple times. Like, you can like a movie, but know that it's fucking trash, right? Like, no, that movie's terrible, but I absolutely love every terrible moment of this movie. So somebody looks at it from like a film perspective and it says, why would you like this movie? It's like, it's not that I think that it was filmed great, not that I don't think that there aren't cheesy effects, not that I don't think that the dialogue is ass, but guess what? I enjoy it because it's ridiculous, and that's something that a lot of people, forget about. You know, that you can
Yeah.
like a movie, but you're not saying it's good because you like it. You just like it.
You know, and it also has a point where it's got that, you know, one thing where I cannot talk about Jason X without bringing up the just and a horrible movie can have one of the best scenes in the franchise. It sure as hell can. You know, like right here, the ice kill,
the cryo kill, yeah.
You know, the cryo kill, smash in the head, is just super badass, man. And it's I can't bring up that film without talking about that kill. It's so good. It's
top
in my
3
top,
for me.
I think it is number 3 for me. It's like 3 or 4, but yeah, phenomenal kill.
Oh yeah. I see horror figure wrestling is in the chat as well. I don't think I said hello to you. Hope you're doing well. It's freaking awesome. All right, so we are on number 10, correct? I need to start doing our numbers here.
Yeah, you're 10.
I always forget to do this when we rank stuff, and I have these little fancy numbers here. It helps me keep track of where we're going there. There, I've got the little 10 up there. Now I know where we're at. And for me, number 10 will be Jason Takes Manhattan. So with this one, I thought that it was a fun idea. I remember when it came out, I was hoping that there was more Jason in Manhattan. So he didn't really take Manhattan. You know, it was more of, you know, and I'm going to beat a dead horse here and say what pretty much everyone says when they watch this movie. You know, Jason on a boat, Jason in Vancouver. I get it. You know, he wasn't there. Which sucked. I was really hoping that we would get more of Jason, you know, going through the streets of Manhattan. It just would have been a lot better for that. You know, there was a lot of things in this movie that I found that they're ridiculous moments in all the Friday the 13th movies. Don't get me wrong. Some of these, though, one that stuck out to me in particular, and I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't talk about it on the last one. And if I didn't, I'll definitely say it here, was Jason getting his mask. You know what I mean? Like, he got his mask. The kid had it on the boat sitting there, and he goes to put on his mask, and it's, you know, not his same mask, but yet it still has the axe mark where he, you know, took the axe in part 3. You know, if you look at a Jason mask, he has the axe mark up on the top here, and that's from in part 3 when Chris hit him with the axe. You know, it just sustained through all the movies that Jason always has that axe mark here. Well, in part 7, his mask breaks and he has to get a new mask, and he gets it in part 8, but yet it still has the axe mark right there. It's like, are they mass producing these masks with an axe mark in it already? But yet this one's yellow. You know, it looks way different. It's just, that bugs me. Like, I don't know why I let it bug me, but it does. You know, I don't know why. This, you get a bunch of teleporting Jason, you know, to where he's just teleporting all over the freaking place. None more evident than when he's in the dance hall, and the ladies spinning around and the girls spinning around in circles, and he's over here, then he's over there, then he's up over here, you know, and Jason's just flashing around and moving everywhere. It's just crazy to me. So
how does he get
the
mask in 8, Michael? I'm having a brain fart.
The
guy
two,
had it.
The couple on the boat at the beginning, you know, they pull into Camp Crystal Lake because, you know, Camp Crystal Lake attaches, you know, you can get there. You can get to freaking New York from a lake. You can just, you know, ride a yacht right through it, man. You're going up creeks and all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? You're gonna get there, which was ridiculous in itself. And you spend most of the time on the boat, less time in Manhattan. You know, it was just, yeah, for me, just number 10, Jason Takes Manhattan. I feel like I talked enough about it to where I probably drive everybody crazy. But yeah, that's where we're at for me. My number 10. And let me catch up on the chat here for just a quick second.
If I'm not mistaken, that basically comes down to money, correct? It
was all money. Yeah,
it's a lot cheaper to shoot Jason on a boat in Vancouver.
So
than
yeah,
actually running through the, you know, town, you know, Times Square.
It's like, I wish you could rank the movie based on what it was supposed to be, but unfortunately, you have to rank the movie based off of what you got. You know, I'm sure that, look at Friday the 13th Part 7. It was cut up so much, you know, and so many things were taken out of that movie. And it's just like, man, you could have got so much more. And I actually like Part 7.
I agree with what you said about, I think we all would have loved to seen him in New York, but with what they had, I don't mind. I think they did what on the boat. There's some decent. They I don't know, use their time well on the boat, I guess, because I kind of enjoy the time on the boat with Jason and getting to know the characters and stuff. It's entertainment. It's but yeah, I would have much rather seen him terrorizing New York City.
For sure. All right, sir. We are to number 9. Oh, real quick, our number 10s. For you, Matt, your number 10 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, Part 6. You had as your number 10. For me, I had Freddy versus.
Wow.
I had Freddy versus Jason as my number 10 2 years ago. So
this is super cool because Michael, I haven't really looked at these our old rankings. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
But okay, number 9.
Real quick,
number
shut
9.
up, James. Real quick, shut up, James is in the chat saying, I love Jason Takes Manhattan. I don't care what anyone says. Dude, you were in the right place, man. You love what you love. That's freaking awesome. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it,
yeah. I mean, I haven't even got to Manhattan yet.
Yeah.
So for me, number 9 is going to be 5.
Okay.
And we're like I said, I love this box set. I think it's the best horror box set that there is, if you ask me.
It's a great one. Yeah,
it is. With your horror buddies, like if you're gonna pick something quick, like I'm gonna grab that beautiful box set I got from you. I may add. I'm gonna grab that 9 times out of 10. But number 5 for me is going to hit number 9. There's a lot I love about number 9. The activity in 9, the kills and the activity alone it's entertainment. I want to say it has the most kills of any Friday the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. It's got kills galore. You talked about the memorable characters and Ethel and all of them, but it does suck. There is that just piece missing. Just knowing that you don't truly, and if you don't really care about the franchise, Michael, if you're just a say average horror fan, I could see them putting it number 3, 4, whatever it may be, because it is still a guy in a hockey mask, killing teenagers, having sex, it's still the same damn concept. But us true fans want to know what Jason's doing at this point.
I don't even know
he is.
I don't even know if that's really the correct terminology is true fan. Maybe more of like Friday the 13th nerds that have to know every little intricate detail. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what
we're definitely nerds.
And it's
like,
just like, no, I don't like Jason. He turned his head the wrong way. This movie's trash at this point. You know what I mean? Because that's how passionate we are. Yes, you're right, dude. Friday the 13th Part 5 had a lot of great shit in it. But, for me, and you putting it this high on your list, it's just kind of like, but we wanted more. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted Jason Voorhees, and you have taken that from me.
We want to know where he's at in this stage. Like 6 let us know that he got hit with the lightning pole and he's back, and 5 just left us like with okay, that was interesting, but where's my boy?
Right.
So I enjoy 5. I don't even have a lot of negative to say about it aside from just that. Yeah, for us horror nerds, that huge fact that Jason is absent.
Right.
It's
a big one.
It's tough to it is.
It's
it
kind of
is.
a big one.
That's where it is for me.
I got you, man.
Number 9.
Let's let me jump up here. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, I got rankings confused. I almost said my number 9 from 2 years ago. So number 9 for me, I do have Friday the 13th, the OG, the original. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy this movie for what it is. It just doesn't have the rewatchability for me. Like, I can't turn this on anytime. I kind of have to be in the mood to watch it. One of the things I always say about this movie that I love so much is Camp Crystal Lake itself. I feel like the setting is a character of its own. Anytime that Camp Crystal Lake goes through my mind, it is this place from the original. That is my perception of Camp Crystal Lake. Anytime it's mentioned or anything, I see the dock, I see the lifeguard stand, I see the way the cabins are laid out and everything, and it's absolutely fantastic. But like I said, the rewatchability of this one isn't as much as the other ones. You kind of have to really be in the mood to watch this one, from my standpoint. So that's why I had to put this one at number 9. I don't really have too much to say about it other than Betsy Palmer killed it as Pamela Voorhees. I like all the references and the introduction to Jason and how she's kind of channeling that inner psycho moment, kind of reversed, from where Norman Bates is talking like his mother, but yet now, Pamela is talking like Jason. You kind of get that psycho vibe a little bit there.
She absolutely did kill it, Michael.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Not to take anything away from her, but rewatchability is the one that really kills this for me. Again, like I said, I can't really watch it too much before I get kind of bored. But before we move on, I do see that Tristan has jumped in the chat to say, "What's up, guys? What's going on, my man? I hope that you are doing well. Always good to see you here, sir."
Yeah, man. What's up, T-Bone? Always great to see him on here, man. And I've noticed, Michael, you've seen Tristan at the shop, and obviously I know he's a horror fan, but not till I saw him on your show and how much he could contribute and how much he knows did I realize how true of a horror fan this man is. Yeah. It's just very, very cool to see. But yeah, what's up? What's up, Tristan?
What is going on? So number 9 from 2 years ago from us, Matt. Are you ready for yours? Your number 9.
This is number 8.
Right, but I'm talking about 2 years ago. So our number 9s from 2 years ago. We just did our number 9.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yes.
So your number 9 was Jason Takes Manhattan 2 years ago.
Okay.
My number 9 was Friday the 13th, Part 5. So we're not too far off, or at least I'm not at this point. I feel like the ones that I've said kind of are starting to fall in line, but I'm about to really break that up with this next pick. So we are moving to number 8, Matt, and we are on you, sir. What?
Okay.
Number 8.
What have you, sir, for number 8?
Number
8 for me is gonna be Jason Takes Manhattan. And honestly, if you were to ask an 18, 19-year-old Matt, it might even be my number 1. It'd be way up there. It would.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved it when it came out too.
So yeah, when I was a youngster, tearing up my horror movies, I don't know if it was just on a lot, but I tore up Jason Takes Manhattan, and and you guys know that I'm a lot about the character, what he looks like, kicking ass, causing chaos. And the younger I was, the worse it was. I could be watching some dumbass shit, but if he's got a cool mask on, I'm glued like this is gold, And then I get, I'm just being real.
Like this. Yeah,
just being real. And as I got a little bit older, I still love my character, but I could start seeing more flaws and with everything, building the character, acting, and it didn't age very well. Yeah. Takes Manhattan did not age very well, but I'll still hold on to that. I still hold on to that, those late nights as, being, like I said, 15, 16, whatever it is. and checking out Jason Takes Manhattan. So I do enjoy it. We did get to see Jason in Times Square. That's badass, guys.
Very badass.
There's some good kills in this film. I still love the, knocking his head off the boxer on top of the building, take your best punch. I still love that. But damn it, I really started to see this movie's flaws. But hey, man, we're getting into, like I said, my favorite box set. I can watch this film anytime. One thing I will say, last thing I'll say, actually, going back to the look of Jason, this is one of my least favorite looks. And it's just all around. I think whatever suit he's wearing for me looks a little cheap. I think sometimes you could even see like the wrinkles and like whatever he's wearing to look like his skin,
You can see like his flesh-colored hands, like as he's reaching up the boat. Like his regular hands there, they didn't put makeup on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the flat, yellow-colored pancake mask, and then you take it off, and you go from how gnarly and badass he looked from 7 to whatever the fuck that is in 8, and yeah.
Well, I'll tell you
got its flaws.
One thing that really pissed me off about that movie, and I didn't mention it, when I was talking about it, I probably should have, was the mere fact that, first of all, Jason doesn't talk. And when he's in that sewer at the end and he says, "Mommy," it's like, are you freaking serious right now? Like, what are you doing? That's what I was going to
guess.
What
curled
are we
up as a
doing here?
little boy.
And so toxic waste is going to change him from that into a little boy and put him in the fetal position. And he had hair. When the hell did Jason have hair? Like dude, this movie's freaking all over the place. Don't get me wrong.
A lot of hair too.
What I'm talking about is a kid. Like they showed him, when he comes out, just so bad, so bad. And I mean, it looked like it was a different kid in 2 different parts. Like it had some cool things in it. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, if you want me to get bitching about it, I kind of can. But that look. Don't get me wrong, dude. It has grown on me. Now, I'm not saying it has shit on part 7. It doesn't, but the yellow mask and the blue, I'm kind of digging it. But when he takes his mask off, that was horrible. That was freaking horrible. Like he looked like I don't even know what to compare that to. But it just looked bad.
Kid's father.
I don't know, man. It's something bad, right? and part 7, where he looked the best ever when he took the mask off and the mouth's moving. His face is all brown and big.
Even 6 without the mask was badass.
Come on, man. Come on. Oh my goodness. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. This was your 8, right? Hold on. Yeah, this was your 8. I got the little numbers up here.
Correct.
Let me do my number 8 real quick because we've already talked about this movie and I don't have to talk too much about it. And I went with Friday the 13th, the OG. Why do I feel like I've said that already? Oh, nope. I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm sorry. I was looking at the other list. See, I should have separated these. So my number 8, and this changed for me, Matt. This was way higher last time. And I'm going Jason X for my number 8. I do enjoy this movie. I have a great time with it. But over these last 2 years, I think that I watched it so many times that it got to the point where I stopped grabbing it as much as I did, out of the Blu-ray case. Don't get me wrong, dude. There are great parts in this movie. I understand that it's a shit show. And that was what brought me to liking it so much, was how much of a shit show it was. I really don't dig Kane's look too much. I enjoy the mask. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people hate it, but it was kind of different for me, so I don't really mind it. But I didn't like the fact that he had like his regular hair underneath it. That didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The way they did all that, where he had a big bloated head in the one before that, and then all of a sudden it just looks like me with a mask on. It was kind of tough to do that. I did enjoy Uber Jason for the silliness that it was. The android fighting him and everything. I thought it was ridiculous, but I had a good time with it. Sorry.
I enjoyed the android fight.
It's dumb. I know it's dumb. I'm not going to defend that it's not. But it was fun for me. And then I'll never forget the what was the guy's name? The guy that ran the security team. where he gets the thing stuck in his ribs, and he's just like,
Michael, you're my go-to on names for Jason X, dude. Why the hell are you asking?
It's gonna take more than that to bring down this old dog. And then he gets stabbed again. He's like, "Yep, that ought to do it." You know,
I feel like his name should be like Jax or something.
I'll tell you what, the movie made fun of itself, and I think that was one of the things that was so good about it. You know, it didn't try to be anything other than it was, than what it was. And I'm cool with that.
That's
man.
very true.
Totally cool
That's very true. That's very true. And it's not said a lot. Like they knew what they were doing. Yeah.
But to catch up on the chat real quick, let me go ahead and do that. I see Token Drew is in the chat saying one of my favorites is Jason X. Not gonna lie. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Lee Long is in the chat saying, I like all the Jason movies. I played them a few times in haunted houses. It worked. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What's up, awesome. Lee? Great to see you on here, buddy.
Let's see. Blueprint is saying Jason X is my number 7. We have a similar ranking, guys. It's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome. Michelle is saying I like Jason X as well. I thought it was cool and hilarious, and that's what it was. And it wasn't trying to be anything different than that. But you did bring up the cryo kill. You brought up the cryo kill, my man, and I'm telling you that is freaking top 3 kills for me.
It's nasty. It's nasty. It's brutal. And I love a brutal Jason, dude. Just freeze somebody and boom.
Like, yeah, it still looks good today.
Yeah,
it still looks good. It does. All right, Matt, are you ready for our number 8s from 2 years ago? I kind of gave mine away already. My number 8 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, the OG, 1980 Friday the 13th. And yours, sir, your number 8 was Friday the 13th, the OG. So we're pretty much on track. It might not be number for number, but they're still falling in a similar realm other than Jason X for me. And when I tell you where that was 2 years ago, you guys are going to be like, how the fuck did that move the way that it did? So we'll definitely see. All right, let me go ahead and change this number to number 7, Matt, because that's where we are going next. Number 7.
I love like as far all these rankings. I love when I know I'm standing my ground and I have one coming up that everybody's gonna be like, "What the fuck is wrong with this dude?" Like, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta get off on that. So number 6, man, or we're on 7. Number 7 for me is number 6.
All right.
And I feel like you'll have to let me know where I had 6 because I feel like it's kind of went up a few notches.
It has. Your number 6, we've already mentioned that.
I thought so.
Yeah, last time was your number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to say the last time, one of the biggest things is I was not able to get over that belt. I hate that belt.
You don't want that Batman utility belt?
I still hate.
He's got like Jason orangs in there. Their little hockey mask with spikes on them, and he throws them like ninja stars.
I can't stand his Batman belt.
Yeah.
But dude, it really has. If I look at it now, it really has for me two minor flaws. Their comedy in part 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna have like the entire movie have a little bit of comedy vibe and stuff, that's cool.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't have that. It just has weird, odd comedy at odd times, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like you'll have an hour and a half of seriousness, and then you'll get like 5 minutes of something really goofy. It's almost just weird for me and doesn't really fit,
Right.
With Jason breaking off the arm and the smiley face and the goofy guy running around playing paintball and all that stuff doesn't really work for me. But it's minor, like I said. And then you're talking about Jason's look. I'm bitching about that belt. That's minor too. Let's look at some of the good, dude. CJ Graham was a beast as Jason. He was a brute. I loved his mannerisms. I love how he portrayed Jason.
Very
And he
menacing.
changed it.
Yeah.
And he changed it from, what prior Jasons were doing. Like when he gets knocked down and you're expecting like maybe like some slow odd, he just boom, pops right back up and does stuff like that you're not really expecting. I thought was genius. And it was also, I saw somebody making Jason their own. I can say that about it. The Tommy Jarvis I really enjoyed in 6.
Tom Matthews.
And then yeah. And one of the last things, I won't go on and on. One of the last things is it's one of my favorite endings of the series. The whole thing with the fire around the boat, Jason just going straight in, not giving two shits, popping out, cracking the boat in half. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's strange because I remember that ending. Jason's when I was younger, they were all blurred. I couldn't have told you if this was 9 or 6 or 5, but I could say like I remember 1 had a badass ending with fire around a boat.
Yeah.
Or I could say I remember there was a batshit lady with a hillbilly son that was, crazy out in the woods. But I couldn't, I could never really put them together.
You were eating that Ethel stew, huh?
Eating that. I used to think Ethel was in part 3 for whatever reason, but now I know him like by heart. And I really enjoy 6, man. I really enjoy 6.
Oh yeah. Let me take a quick time out here to recognize 2 people here. Michelle has gifted another Movies and Beyond membership. Michelle, thank you a million times from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And Jerry has done the same. You guys are freaking amazing. I love you guys. Thank you a million times. Thank you so much. All right, Matt. So we are at my number 7. Make sure I'm looking at the right one here. And okay. This movie belongs here for me. All right. At number 7. And I'm going to tell you why. My number 7 is Freddy versus Jason. I'm looking at this from a Friday the 13th aspect and not so much of a, how I feel about this movie aspect, because full disclosure, when we do Nightmare series, this movie's going to be on there as well. And this is going to have a different ranking because I feel like from a Friday the 13th standpoint of this is a huge swing and a miss for me. It's a fun movie, and that's why it's above Jason X, because I have a lot of fun with it, and I could probably recite this movie line for line, word for word. I do adore this movie, but looking at it from the Friday the 13th side, and Jason being, a giant oof. We talked about him being like Frankenstein in the past when we've talked about it, Matt. Very slow, not intelligent. When Freddy cuts his fingers off and he just kind of stands there and looks at his hand and turns his head. To me, those weren't Jason mannerisms. I didn't feel like you were in danger from him at any point if you could run more than like 2.5 miles an hour, because he was insanely slow. Very big, which I don't have a problem with Jason being big. I don't. But when he's sluggish like that, I literally still to this day, even though the movie proves me wrong, I felt like once Freddy's out of that dream world, he's a regular guy and Jason should have just killed him. Like immediately. Hand through the heart, pulls the heart out. Jason goes on trying to kill the other people. I understand why they did it the way they had to do it. I understand that they didn't get Kane Hodder to come in, because I feel like, as much as I hate to say this, I feel like Kane wouldn't have allowed a lot of that way that Jason was being portrayed to happen. He's been known to be, to tell the writers, no, I don't want to do it that way because Jason wouldn't do it that way. Well, this guy knows, he's played Jason 4 times. He kind of gets that, he kind of understands how to play this character. Nothing against Ken Kurtzinger. I think he did a fantastic job for what he was asked to do. He didn't write the movie. He was doing what he was doing to be directed. Or doing what he was supposed to, being directed to do those things. And I don't blame him at all. And again, like I said, you guys, this is a fun movie for me. But when I look at it from the Friday side of things, I feel like they kind of got the shit end of the stick if you're a Friday fan. But then again, it was made by New Line. As you know, New Line is the house that Freddy built. You know what I mean? So this is a Freddy team making a Jason movie. And I feel like, Sean Cunningham was involved. Why didn't you say something, bro? I'm putting this on you. You could have, stuck up for your boy a little more. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to cry about it because it's only been 21 years since it came out. I did that in 2003, 2004, 2005, probably all the way up until like yesterday, right? But, you know, this is where it is. More than likely, it'll probably be number 8 tomorrow. But for today, this is number 7. Freddy vs. Jason is a great time. I just have to look at it from the Friday the 13th aspect tonight, and not so much as a whole for this one.
Yeah, and I do have to say, Michael, you know, that almost just, you know, you really enlightened me with a lot of that, because maybe it was good for me that I didn't see it that way, you know. But I didn't think of it the way you did until you really brought those points up to me about, you know, how they really did do Jason. But it makes 100%. It makes sense. And yeah, I just got to acknowledge that I didn't really think of it until you really brought that up. But you're right. It definitely favors Krueger. Jason takes the short end of the stick. I did like his look, but yeah, way too slow, way too dumb. And then you're so right. Once they went into his world and Freddy was a human, like you said, he should have ripped his arms off.
When did Freddy learn Kung Fu? You know? Like, he all of a sudden, he was just like a hand-to-hand combat specialist. He was dropping elbows and all types of crazy ass shit. And I understand you're going to do that because you want the entertainment value. And if you remember when this movie came out, it was promoted like a fight. They had Michael Buffer. They had them up on like a post or a pre-fight, you know, they had
that was hysterical.
You know what I mean? Like, they were up there doing that stuff. Michelle, gotta love her to death. She's like, take a breath, Michael. It's like, you know what? That's passion for this. It's like, I wanted this movie since I was a kid. It was an argument on every playground. Like, again, I've said this a million times and I've said it for years. You guys, we love Halloween, but Halloween was not a part of this equation. It wasn't even in the 80s. We got 81, we got 88. There was that gap where Freddy and Jason ran the 80s. And this was the argument on every playground. Who would win? You had your Freddy team, you had your Jason teams. You wanted this since you were a little kid on the playground in the middle of those arguments, like I was, you know, talking shit. And you kind of got a little disappointed. High hopes. That's all I'm gonna say. And insert some nerdism that I have there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Matt, you ready for our number 7s from 2 years ago?
Yeah, I was actually going to, if you could catch up on the chat for a second, I was going to use the restroom real quick, buddy.
All right, let me tell you your number 7 real quick before you do that. I'll move on.
Oh, you're talking about, go ahead.
Your number 7 from 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, Part 5. Part 5. And mine
makes sense.
Mine was the remake.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the freaking remake. Oh, yeah, man. All right, I will catch up on the chat, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, let me catch up with you great people out here. It's just freaking hilarious. Where was I? Okay, James was saying number 6 was my 7th. That was his 7th. So your number 7 was number 6, James. That's cool. I will get to talk about number 6 here coming up shortly. I don't want to talk too much about it because I want to be able to. I'm not going to go off like Freddy versus Jason. I promise. And if Michael's out there still, Michael, we talked a little bit about Friday the 13th or about Freddy versus Jason today. And it was very nice to meet you, by the way. And I told you what I was going to do, but I'm only looking at it from the Friday side. I think you guys will be a little surprised at the change of tone I have once we get into Nightmare here coming up in the next few weeks. Because I do want to get into Nightmare. Then we put the big 3 together. I want to do anniversary shows for all of those over the next probably 2 months. We will definitely get into those. Let's see. Blueprint GB is saying New Blood, my favorite in the series. And I will tell you this, New Blood was awesome. And I guarantee New Blood had the best looking Jason, in my opinion, of all time. Of all freaking time. Yes. Yes. James is saying Jason came out of the water like Jaws. That's what I'm talking about. Blueprint is saying Facts Mike's with even more iconic music. If you guys were talking about part 6, if we were still on that part 6, yeah. And I'm going to bring that up too when I get to that for sure. Russell was saying his number 7 was Friday the 13th, part 2. James is saying there's no way Freddy could be Jason. Well, I don't think so outside of the dream world, because you do know, like, Freddy is a dream demon. So I will say that, I don't like Jason's chances in the dream world. But yeah, James, I agree. When they were hand-to-hand combat at Camp Crystal Lake, I don't even feel like it should have been a fight. Oh. Let me make sure I said this right. Wilkie's Movies and Music. What's going on? Saying, hey, all, what is going on? Welcome to Movies and Beyond. Great to have you here for sure. Oh, let's see. Melissa is saying her number 6 is the remake, 2009. I gotcha. Melissa's saying, and do 80s talk again. That was fun. Yeah. And I mean, that's something that more than likely, Melissa, that we can do more of, for the simple fact that there are so many movies with the 80s. So we talked a little bit about that, part 1, the last time we did it was part 1. We'll do a part 2. And if there's enough interest, then, we'll keep going with it. I do feel like we will be able to talk about more movies, because that is one that I do by myself. So, it doesn't take as long. You only get, one person up here talking. So I feel like we can move that to 16 movies. So next time we do that, we will put 16 movies in the bracket. And I'm pretty sure that we will get to that here soon for sure. Let's see. Melissa saying, I want so bad Jason versus Michael. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. I don't think it'll ever happen, Melissa. It's cool in theory, but it's, I really don't know if Michael's really, I don't know. I'm really funny about what, Jason's my favorite, but I'm really funny what they do with Michael. I'm very protective of Michael, and I don't really know if that's, I don't know if that's something I want. I mean, it'd be cool. It might be cool. Russell is saying, did you watch Tulsa King, Michael? No, not yet, Russell. It is on the list. It's definitely on the list of movies for me to get to. I know you guys wanted me to check that out, and I will. I promise you that I will. Melissa says 80s movies and shows, etc. Yeah, we can add shows to that. We can do that. Michelle said that's going to be mine and Michael's private channel, Melissa. Oh, yes. That would definitely be a good spot for that for sure. Let's see. Welcome back, Matt. How you doing? Cool mask, dude. Cool.
Thank you, buddy. I'm doing fantastic. Is Tulsa King?
It's Sylvester Stallone. I found out. I haven't seen it.
Okay, like a mob type of thing. Okay. I've been wanting to check that out as well, man.
It came very highly recommended from the chat one night I was on here.
Okay.
They were talking about Tulsa King. So I definitely will check that out for sure.
I am finally getting around to, a lot of the shows that you've been telling me to get to. I did the Hannibal.
Oh, yeah. That was such a good one.
Loved it. You talked a lot about me getting on Game of Thrones. I'm on top of that.
Another great one.
Yeah, all great stuff, man. All great stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right, Matt. We are to number 6, my friend. What is your number 6? Your 6th favorite Friday the 13th movie?
So I do not have a whole lot to add. You have talked about this film.
Okay.
And for me, it's Freddy versus Jason. And yeah, I mean, you made so many great points. I won't go on and on, but what I'll say, man, is this movie's only really going to get better for me, even with all its, with the bad acting, all its flaws. I just have to say I'm so glad we got this one movie. When it first happened, okay, I thought it was just going to spawn all kinds of shit. I thought we were going to see, and this just could be maybe me being young, I thought we were going to see Chucky and Leprechaun going at it. I thought, I started talking with all my friends, after this movie, how about Michael and Leatherface? How about this and that? Nothing happened.
It opened the doors.
Sequel. Yeah. We didn't even get a sequel to this film.
Yeah.
So I just really, I mean, I appreciate it more as time goes on that we at least got this film. Does it have its flaws, Michael? Absolutely, it does. But another thing that I cannot mention this film without bringing up is that the way they put Jason versus Freddy, the way they brought them together, I thought was very well created, and it didn't seem stupid.
Yeah.
You know, with Freddy losing his power in Elm Street and having to get somebody to create the fear and all that stuff, and I thought it was very cool. And I still stand by that. Like even back then, I remember being pretty impressed with that. Like it didn't seem stupid. You know, it seemed like, okay, that kind of actually makes sense. You know, he had to look through the, everyone in hell, and Jason would have been in hell. And then he couldn't get Jason to stop, so he had to, like, I loved it. I actually thought it was brilliant. So I'm so glad we got to see these Titans, go at it. It has its flaws, but it's fun as shit. So that's where it is, man.
The only problem I had with it, and it makes me laugh to think about it, first of all, like the dialogue in that, Pamela's talking to Jason, and she's like, go to Elm Street. The kids have been very bad on Elm Street. Motherfucker, which Elm Street? There, you know how many Elm Streets there are? There's an Elm Street in every single town. She wasn't even specific, right? And he's just like, okay. And he starts walking to speed of smell. How long is it going to take him to walk from Wessex County, New Jersey? Granted, I understand that this is a fictional place, but it's in New Jersey, to Springwood, Ohio, which is
we've
another
already seen his teleporting abilities, and Jason takes Manhattan, so
he started walking. Like, could you imagine him walking down the highway? That should have taken him a year to walk that far. It's like, what's he doing here? You know what I mean? Like,
you see an old man with a cane behind him, like slapping him in the ass, like, let's go, buddy.
Hurry up. Like, hurry the fuck up. Get moving. All right, Matt. So we are on. You got your number 6 out of the way there. You had Freddy versus Jason. My number 6, I'm going to keep it at 6s and say Friday the 13th, part 6 is my 6th favorite Friday the 13th movie, man. And we did talk a lot about this, and, great ending. I agree with you on that 100%. I love CJ Graham as well. Fantastic.
Yes.
And the only thing that I'm going to bring up that I feel like that it needs to be talked about with part 6 that we didn't really cover was Alice Cooper's Man Behind the Mask. That's one of those songs, dude, that comes on. And when I went to that Rob Zombie concert last year and Alice Cooper opened for him, I was hoping that he was going to sing. I had my Jason mask in my backpack and everything, just in case he sang the song. Unfortunately, he did not. He did sing Be My Frankenstein, though. So that was close enough. But yeah, man, that Alice Cooper really, anytime you hear that song, dude, it really puts me in the frame to watch Friday the 13th, part 6. You already touched on, Tommy Jarvis. I really like Tom Matthews in that. He did very well as a Tommy Jarvis. Not being such a big fan of Tommy in part 5. Again, I don't feel like it's the actor's fault. I feel like the way that he was directed and everything, and doing what he was told to do. Because you couldn't really get Corey back at that point, and he would have been too young anyway. But yeah, man, part 6 for me. Utility belt, not a big fan, but it doesn't really bother me enough. Just needs to get a little dirty. It looked a little clean there for him, but CJ Graham was a total beast. And I absolutely love when he kills the sheriff and bends him backwards, when he just folds him in half backwards. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic kill in that.
And let's talk about a little bit about what we said to each other, Michael. Like, dude, we both have seen CJ Graham. He could play Jason today, guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Today.
What?
The man is still a beast.
What was that, 86 that this came out? So he filmed it in 85. I mean, that was literally let me do the math real quick. 95, 2005, 2015. That was almost 40 years ago. And this man still looks like that. It's like, come on, dude. Like, he literally, I met him at Scarefest again for the second time. Both times I've met him, he snatched me up. Like, let's get a picture. And he moves me effortlessly. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but still, this man has been doing this for this long, and he's still a monster, man.
Yeah, he is. He could play Jason today.
Very cool dude too, man. He's awesome. CJ Graham is a really good guy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And Ari, the very first Jason, I thought, I got to meet him for the first time. I thought he was freaking awesome as well, dude. Like something about, man, playing Jason, you got to be a cool ass dude.
Oh yeah. All right, Matt.
No wonder they never cast us, Michael.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think I got the height for it. Lucky I'd be able to do Ghostface, maybe. You know what I mean? Number 6 2 years ago for me, Matt, was Friday the 13th, part 6. So that stayed 6 and 6. You for 2 years ago, your number 6 was Freddy versus Jason. So it looks like we both hit that one right on the head there, for sure. Go ahead and change our number up here. We'll run through here. Let me catch up on
Russell and James. Thank you very much for your compliments on the mask. I appreciate that, you guys. I try to wear masks that I think you guys will enjoy. So for sure.
Oh yeah. Melissa's saying we have an Elm Street in my town, and town after that had an Elm Street. Melissa, I'm pretty sure that every town in America has an Elm Street, or an Elm Avenue, or something. Like they're freaking all over the places.
Now, growing up in Lebanon, like I actually do not know if we ever had an Elm Street. So, thank you, Russell.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, James.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Paula.
And Melissa's saying her number 5 is Friday Part 3. So that brings us to our number 5, Matt. And it is on you, sir. What is your 5th favorite Friday the 13th?
Michael, I don't know. I don't even have to say this, but dude, we're talking about films that we fucking enjoy right now.
No shit, I've enjoyed them all the way up since my number 9.
I mean, I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like
getting into the nitty gritty now, yeah.
Yeah. And this is a movie that's been, and I know I don't stand alone. It's been a little odd for everyone. How you feel about it, how it ages, because it just came out at an odd time. This is the remake. I'm talking about the 2009 remake.
All right.
This movie, I've heard people say when it came out, they thought it was dog shit. It's grown on them and it's one of their favorites. I've heard people say they thought it was dog shit when it come out, and it's still dog shit to this day. Like, it's one of those films that is, it's looked at very differently.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because it really stands alone. It didn't come out along with all the other ones that were just boom, boom, boom in the 80s. It's kind of its own, standalone film. And they also did their own thing with it, so it's one of those ones that, you got to kind of process it. Really, you really do.
Yeah.
And I'll say with this one, the more I've processed it, the more I enjoy it. Love his look. Love the characters. The characters feel like Friday the 13th characters. Those shithead teenagers, with a couple semi-good ones sprinkled in. Trent is top tier shithead teenager.
Trent. What up, Trent?
Jason looks, in my opinion, absolutely phenomenal. And back to what you were saying, Michael, you don't mind Jason being big, but don't be big and slow. That is not what we got.
Nope.
With
Derek Mears.
With Derek Mears.
Yeah.
He was fucking terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Terrifying. A man that size, the look he had, the neck that looked like a thigh. Like
he looked like he could run a 4.5 40.
Dude, and looked like dude, he was terrifying. He was terrifying. So there's so much to love. But the opening scene was dude, I really enjoyed this film.
Yeah.
It has I wish the ending they could have the ending kind of left a I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but
It was a little underwhelming.
you know, it was. It
Yeah.
was. It was. Like if you could have taken this film and had like I said, part 6 ending or a nice, part 3 barn with the axe in the head kind of ending, it would really be very high up there. But all around, dude, I love it. I love his look. I love the characters. It felt like a Jason movie. I enjoy watching it. So
Yeah.
that's where it's at.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and piggyback off of you because my part 5 is the remake. I have that as well as my part 5, and you spoke about a lot of good things, man. And I'll just Derek Mears, dude, he was an NFL linebacker with a hockey mask on. He looked like he looks like he's stronger than you. He looks like he's faster than you, and there's really no getting away from him. He's got home field advantage. The first time you see him in that wrap standing there and that music hits and you see that big bastard standing there, you just know, like, this is crazy. Their version of Sackhead, which was more of a rap than anything else, was freaking amazing. I love that they started that way. I love that we got to see Jason get the hockey mask. And to me, that made me feel like there's going to be more of these because we're kind of seeing an origin here. We're seeing something happen, and it was just like the brutality in the first 20 minutes of this movie. You think about that guy with his leg in a bear trap watching his girl hung over a fire in a sleeping bag. That's fucking madness, bro. Like, he's not getting out of that thing, and you see that the damage on his freaking leg, that makes me grab my freaking leg every single time. Like, there's just like little certain things with me. You know how I am with like Achilles cuts and things like that, where it's like I'd almost rather see someone get beheaded than the gauge from Pet Cemetery on the Achilles. Like, those are the things that make me grab my foot while I'm watching it. Like, oh Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, that's a bear trap on the shin bone, dude. If I bang my shin on the corner of my bed, I'm limping around for a minute, and probably screaming at my ceiling, let alone throwing it on a freaking a bear trap on my shin. Come on, man. The way Jason comes out of the floor at the beginning of that and pulls that guy down after he's done cut his leg, he's cut his hand with the machete through the bottom of the floor. Why the asshole just didn't jump into the freaking bathtub right away, I don't know. I'm not here to judge him. I wasn't in that situation. Brutal movie, man. Tons of memorable characters, tons of characters too that are forgettable, and that's why it's that's why it's number 5. And it won't go any higher than that. But we talk about Trent all the time, dude. He's kind of like the unspoken, somebody that we would love to have on the show to talk to. You know what I mean? Like, Trent is freaking fantastic. He was great at what he did, and it was just something that's fun to watch. And it's one of those movies, Matt, that if anyone asks me if I want to watch Friday, the remake, let's throw it in. Let's go. I don't have to be in any certain mood to watch this. We're getting a badass Jason with a badass mask doing badass things, man. And that's kind of what you want from Friday. Like, Friday's not an in-depth, like, we're not trying to discover the origin of Michael Myers here. Friday is what it is. It doesn't try to be anything different than what it is. And we love it for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just absolutely
for sure.
freaking awesome. Hell yeah, dude.
I'll say one thing that I don't even know why, but I forget sometimes that James, aka the Shape, reminds me of, and I'm glad that he does. James is a huge fan of the bow and arrow kill, and it is, James. Thank you for, like, it is a badass kill, man. Like, I'm right there with you, James, and it's just, for whatever reason, it's a kill that I kind of forget about sometimes, but that shot, and then Michael, I know you love that shot from him when she sees him, standing over on the shore there. After the bow and arrow kill, you get
epic.
You get that epic shot. Like, that whole sequence is phenomenal, man. But yeah, I'm right there with you, James, and I know I'm not alone. That bow and arrow kill is badass, brother.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And a lot of people agreeing in the chat. You know, they were talking about, you know, there's a ton of, you know, lakes called Crystal. Michelle comes through with there's only one real Camp Crystal Lake. And that's what I'm talking
She's
about.
right. And she's
Only
right.
one. It's the only one that matters. It's the one that we don't want to go to, you know?
Yeah, and
Literally.
she's right. She's right.
And
for sure.
all right. We are on our number 5, Matt. Are you ready to hear what you said was your number 5 2 years ago?
I am.
Friday the 13th, 2009, the remake was your number 5 2 years ago.
Okay. So I'm staying true there. Okay.
Yeah, you're not moving around too much. My number 5 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, part 2. That was my number 5.
Okay.
All right. So we have moved on to number 4. Let me go ahead and change this up here.
Love that mask.
Yvette is saying cool mask. What's going on, Yvette?
Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. Hell, anything to improve this. I mean, gosh damn.
Jason wore a mask for a reason. You know,
yeah.
He wore a mask for a reason. All right, buddy. Part 4. What is your 4th favorite Friday the 13th movie? We're in top 4, almost the top 3.
All right. We're getting serious.
It's getting serious. It is definitely getting serious.
For me, it's going to be Friday the 13th, part 4.
Okay.
Friday the 13th, part 4. I gosh damn, I enjoy. I mean, you know, what can I say? I enjoy the film very much. I think that Ted White was phenomenal as Jason. I loved the whole Jarvis family situation,
Kind of that family dynamic that they have.
You know, honestly, I'm not going to talk a whole lot. I know that you are going to have 4 a little bit higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly, I'm gonna give you that, my friend. I enjoy 4.
Gotcha.
I just can't, you know, I can't put it as my, you know, 1 or 2 like a lot of people can. And if I were to say one reason, I'm gonna let this one lie. I'm gonna seriously say, because, and you know, maybe when you talk about it, I'll chime in a little bit, if you would allow me and be so kind. But I'm gonna leave a lot open. I enjoy 4. It's high up. 4 is very high up. Yeah. Being ranked number 4 is very high up. But for me, it has some small flaws, and I'll talk about it with you a little bit later, my friend.
Oh yeah. All right, man. And that was number 4. My number 4 is Friday the 13th, part 2. And I will say this about it. You know, Friday the 13th, part 2 has my favorite final girl from the Friday series in it. Jenny is by far Amy Steele. She was the final girl to fight back. You know what I mean? You use psychology. It was fantastic. This has another one of my top 3 kills in the franchise with the machete to the face of the wheelchair, riding backwards down the stairs.
That's my number 1.
Absolutely freaking fantastic. You know, the whole feeling of this, the atmosphere is what made this movie. You know, a lot of people don't like it because it's like, he doesn't even have the hockey mask yet. Yeah, it is more story driven though. You know, it is that's something that you like about this one. It does very well. You know, it does very well with the time jump. Only thing I wish was a little different was they didn't kill Alice in the first few minutes. You know, she was the one that made it from the original But you know, it is what it is. This movie to me is one of the ones that I can watch anytime as well. It's fantastic. I won't go on too much because I know you do have to talk about it as well. So I don't want to take all of that. But I am glad, and I will say this, that we did finally get a definite answer to whether it was Ginny or the rat. So you remember that debate we had a year ago or so. We were able to get confirmation. It's
down in the man cave.
Yeah, we were able to get confirmation. Whorehound and Indy from Steve Miner, who directed the film. Yes, and then Ginny herself at Scarefest in 2023.
It was the rat.
No, it wasn't. It was her. There was a rat's bladder is like that big. Okay, like there was too much. There was too much.
I didn't remember I didn't remember that.
Yes.
She clarified that?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Michelle saying I've got to go. Good night. Have a good night, everyone. Take care, Michelle.
Yeah, have a great night, Michelle. Always good seeing you on here.
Well, yeah, man. So that
was a funny back and forth, man.
Oh, dude, it went on for like way longer than it should have too. And that was so fun about that night for sure. But so number 4, Matt, for you 2 years ago, your number 4 was Friday the 13th, Part 2 was your number 4.
I thought so.
My number 4. All right, you ready for this? 2 years ago was Jason X. That was my number 4. So Jason X slid for me 4 spaces.
I almost feel like you
4 spaces.
You're always gonna love, Jason X. But I feel like when we were ranking them, then you were like in your prime of having.
It was on a high point for me at that point. Yeah, it was getting a high point. It was getting a lot of play,
a lot of airtime, and you've kind of a little bit had your fill. Yeah. And like we've always talked about, especially these rankings can change like that. Yeah. Within a week or two.
For sure.
Maybe not by much, but they can always change for sure.
Right. I do want to just remind everybody before we get to number 3. I see Mayan's here. What's going on, Mayan? I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always good to see you here. I know Mayan's a huge Friday the 13th fan. So she's in the right place. But if you haven't hit that like button yet and you are in the chat, please hit that like button for me. It helps out the channel more than you guys know. And Matt, we are top 3, sir. We are number 3. Where are you, my friend? What is your 3rd favorite Friday the 13th movie?
Number 3. I'm going with Friday the 13th Part 2. Okay. I love 2, guys. God.
Well, it's top 3, man, out of 12 movies.
I do. I thoroughly enjoy Part 2. And I love the fact actually that it's the only Jason where we have him, in a sack, with his mask, with the one eye hole, and there's so much of, I love the characters. Like you said, I share that with you about Ginny. Yeah. I absolutely love Ginny as a final girl, and there's just so many great scenes, when Ginny. I talk about this with you a lot. When Ginny says that, there's somebody in the fucking room.
Yeah, great.
And when you're watching that for the first time, at least for me, I was thinking like, no, he's not right there. And then sure enough, he is. Like,
yeah.
So much about it. I love. And let's go back to endings. I've talked a little bit about endings when we were on 6. I love that ending. Now, Part 2. I might have to think about it for a little while, guys.
The ending's a little fuzzy with that.
It could possibly be my favorite ending in the whole franchise.
Yeah.
It really could. the whole hiding behind, the mother's severed head, putting her sweater on, you know,
and
having that
Betsy Palmer.
courage.
Betsy Palmer coming back to do that voiceover
Yeah,
and to stand there.
yeah,
Like she
yeah.
actually came back. A lot of people, you ask them how many episodes or how many Friday movies was she in, and they'll say one. No, she was in two. Betsy
Yeah.
Palmer came back for two to do that little scene right there.
And that's awesome. Her having dude, I love the scene where she gets into his cabin and looks out the window and Jason's coming full sprint where it's like, dude, your time is like this. Like I was on the edge of my seat watching. I still get a little bit on the edge of my seat when I watch it today. Like it's like, dude, he's right there. Go.
Chase scene, and it gives you
It
that
is,
feeling
man.
because you care about the character. You give a shit about Jenny because she has won you over in that movie. You know, like you want her to get away. And Friday the 13th Part 2, man, they capitalized on that, dude. And it's exactly what you're saying. You care about it. It's like that bastard's fucking hauling ass.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that ending. It's Part 2. I watch quite a bit. And then you've seen it. Lydia knocks out the Part 2 Sackhead for cosplay like no other. So it's so fun to see. And I know she shares that love for Jason as well. But yeah, man, without going on and on, dude, you got I dig Sackhead, and I love that it's the only time we see him as Sackhead. The cast and the crew is phenomenal. One of the best endings. And it's just steady. It's good throughout the entire film. Like fun watch, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And we can't leave out, one of my favorite sequences that's Paul sitting in front of the fire telling a story. I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. I love that. You know what I mean? Like I absolutely love that. Like that whole scene to me is freaking fantastic. And I always get a chuckle too out of the part where the cop sees Jason just trucking it across the street. And he gets out, tries to chase him. And it's like, you look at that cop, like your donut eating ass ain't going to catch him. Like he was moving, he went running after him and, bad things happen. But that was number 3 for you, Matt. I am going to jump in with my number 3. Make sure I get up here. My number 3, I'm going to stick with threes and say Friday the 13th Part 3 is my third favorite Friday the 13th movie. This is iconic for many reasons. And, we're getting towards the bottom and it looks like we still have some of the same ones left, Matt. So I'm not going to get into it too much. And then, once you say the same thing, we'll kind of both hit it so much. But I do want to say this. The two things I will say about Part 3. One, iconic that he got his hockey mask. And Brooker wore it like a boss. Brooker was a beast. He was a bigger Jason than we had seen at this point, way bigger than Warrington Gillette or Steve Dash, right? So he was absolutely freaking horrifying. 2, the ending dream sequence, man. That's something I have to bring up every time because this was the first Friday the 13th movie to actually scare me as a kid, with him looking through that window and scratching at the glass pane, and looking out the window, looking like Sloth's cousin from Goonies, just staring out there with the blood on his head and everything. And then he runs down the stairs and just knocks that door off the hinge. It's just like, holy shit. I remember being a kid and like grabbing my blanket, like, oh shit, like this is actually scary. You know what I mean? Like at this point, I'm not rooting for Jason. I'm rooting for this chick to start learning how to row that damn boat and get the hell out of there. Right. Those are the things I want to say for sure. Friday the 13th is a solid number 3 for me, where it sits. And, we'll get into it a little more when you talk about it for sure. Are you ready for your number 3 from 2 years ago, Matt?
I am.
Your number 3 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, Part 4. My number 3 from 2 years ago was Friday the 13th, Part 3. So I veered off with Jason X at 4. That was a little different for sure, but it's those were our picks from 2 years ago. And I will go ahead and catch up with the chat real quick while we get on this number 2 here. Let me catch up just a little bit here. Melissa was saying her number 3 was New Blood. Oh yeah. Man, saying hello, Michael and Matt. Yep, Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise. That's freaking awesome.
I love that.
She's also saying that Chucky is her favorite character.
Okay.
So that's cool. That is cool. Russell was saying his number 3 is Friday the 13th, part 5. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Paul is saying Betsy Palmer was on an episode of Murder, She Wrote. It was Grady's wedding. That's super cool. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Let's see. Michael Glausbecker is saying, love the Chucky series. Unfortunately, it was not renewed.
It was. I didn't know that. So how many series did it go?
How many seasons? I want to say 3, right? Didn't they do 3 seasons with Chucky? I'm pretty sure it was 3. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Man,
I hate that was not renewed.
Yeah. Man, saying 3 seasons. So it did do 3 seasons. Russell is saying his number 2 is Friday the 13th, part 3. And he's also throwing out that his number 1 is Friday the 13th, part 4. That's awesome, Russell.
I'm gonna finish that, Chucky. I'm like midway through season 2.
Man says, but he always comes back. News. She said he always comes back, so he might be. All right, Matt. What is your second favorite Friday the 13th movie?
So I think it's funny because I think I text you. I think I text you, Michael, out of the blue when this changed. You know,
you
my
did
1 and 2.
Yep.
My 1 and 2.
That was like God, that was like a year ago too.
Yeah,
but I do remember. I know what you're gonna say. I actually remember the conversation. I do know where you're going with it.
Yeah. So number 2 for me is Friday Part 7.
Oh yeah.
Which used to be my number 1. And I'll say the sole reason is the middle. It's the middle. I absolutely love part 7, but it does have for me anyway, it has a middle that's kind of bland.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about number 2, guys. So by no means do I, let's
bland, but not that bland. I got you.
By no means do I dislike this movie. We're talking about number 2 here. But it does. It has a stretch for me that's kind of like, what are we doing here? Take it, leave it. As a whole, let's talk about it as a whole. Love Tina. Love the fact that, Jason finally has his equal. I mean, just everything about it. And they don't do it like in a nerdy sense. Like, they did it. I thought it was beautiful. Tina's out there battling him. Dr. Cruz. Michael, let's talk about Jason's look. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Without going on and on for days. It was stupid. And I don't want to go on and on for days. I want you to talk about this film as well. I'll say, as a whole, I thoroughly enjoy it. The cast, the story, and how Michael does have somebody that you're like, okay, what's he gonna do when this chick starts doing this and that, and the ending, their battle, from electrocuting Jason, him going in the water, coming back up, the mask coming off, looking phenomenal. Just, dude, it's a stupid good movie. I love the look, I love the characters, I love the story. That's why it's number 2 for me. I absolutely fucking love this movie.
All right, well, let's keep talking about it because that's my number 2 as well. And I will say this: like you did cover a lot of it, but there are a few things that I don't want to pass up when we talk about this movie of something that is so fucking awesome. Let's not forget about Kane's firewalk in this movie. Not only did he have a firewalk, he was ignited on screen. You see some of the best firewalks but you don't see them get lit up. This was actually filmed to where, it came out of the furnace and lit Kane on fire as Jason. And you actually saw on the screen him catch on fire, a part of his firewalk. Freaking fantastic. The stunts that Kane did in this one, for falling through the stairs, jumping through the window, absolutely terrifying. You talked about
that's all Kane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all Kane.
All Kane.
You look at this, man, and you look at the way that Jason looked in this, man. Like you said, it's iconic, bro. To me, it's best mask, best outfit, best under the mask, dude. I think that this look of Jason wins 360 degrees, bro. 100%. Like all of it is the best. There's not a better mask to me.
And from the back.
There's not a better
it's
under mask.
Cooler.
There's not a better body. You know what I'm saying? You got the spine in the back. You've got the ribs exposed. He looks like Jason, who had been in the water for freaking 10 years. You know what I mean? He came out looking, I'll say the word appropriate for what happened to him. You've got the chunk missing out of the mask.
But still like he can whoop your ass.
Well, yes, 100%. He's got the chunk missing out of the mask, which is exposing that part of his face that is jacked up from that boat motor that tore him up.
That's brilliant.
Undoubtedly, for the consistency that's not there in a lot of these movies that we love so much, that was. You know what I mean? He's still got the chain around his neck where it broke. Jason's not taking that chain off. He doesn't give a fuck. That's no weight to him. He's just walking around with that chain still hanging on him. And I think it only adds to the look, man. Jason, first appearance of Kane Hodder as Jason. He incorporates that intense, like, breathing. Not that Jason needs to really breathe, understandably, but it just adds to the intimidation factor of Jason. To me, dude, I'm taking this Jason all day, over all the other Jasons in the franchise based on looks alone. Freaking fantastic. And he goes up against Friday the 13th version of Carrie, which is absolutely, Lark Park Lincoln kills it, dude. I love Lark Park Lincoln. She actually came to one of my shows, which was freaking fantastic. I was a nervous wreck, trying to talk in front of her when we watched Roseblood, and it was just fucking amazing, dude. I love Friday the 13th Part 7. It is my number 2. And I really, dude, I think that we really covered it. Other than Dr. Cruz, you know what I mean? Like, he was another fantastic character in this movie. Terry Kaiser killed it in the role. He accomplished what they set out to do, and that was make us dislike this character. And he did it very, very well. It's just iconic, man, all the way around. I love this movie.
Who would have thought Bernie had that in him?
Who would have thought, man? I wonder if after Jason killed him, if he kind of fucking stumbled his way out of Camp Crystal Lake. You know what I mean? And another thing too that we don't really talk about is the MPAA that totally butchered this movie. They cut it down to like bare bones. I would have loved
butchered the franchise.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what this would have been. Just the effects alone of looking at Jason, they had a ton more in store for us. And this is just absolutely freaking fantastic. And let's not forget the last but not least, dude, the sleeping bag kill. Another top 3 kills for me. Jason grabbing her out of the tent and dragging that sleeping bag over and just blasting the damn tree with it one time. In the other version, he hits it like 4 or 5 times, but they had to cut it down to 1. You know what I mean?
Michael, what you said is just, it's almost like I don't want to think about it, but they butchered the entire franchise. So many of them, I'd like to see what they truly had in store for us. Yeah. But then now we have movies like Terrifier, where it feels like they can do just damn near anything. Like, why is that? I don't know.
I am going to say this, and I know, take this with a grain of salt, but it is the truth, and I've never really talked about this on my show. And if you don't believe me, you can fact check me in the book Taking Shape, where John Carpenter, if you look at Friday the 13th, right? And you look at Halloween 2, what made Halloween 2 so much different from the first Halloween was, of course, the blood and the gore. They upped the ante for the gore. And the reason they did that was John Carpenter said we need more of it because they're loving it in Friday the 13th. That was an exact quote. Well, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that was a quote in Taking Shape. The article is in there and everything, where the reason Halloween 2 was so much bloodier than 1 was because of Friday the 13th. So there are a lot of people that talk about, well, Friday's a ripoff. Well, they kind of borrowed from each other. You know what I mean? Like initially, yes, Friday the 13th, they capitalized on what Halloween did. But at the same time, you know, it's there. They grab from each other. It is there. And it's something that people wanted at the time. You know what I mean? That's what they wanted. And Friday
you can
did
almost
it
say that
well.
about so many films.
Oh, you can.
You know,
You
I mean,
can.
come on. You know,
You can
you know,
completely.
Alfred Hitchcock could say Halloween's a ripoff of him. You know, it's like
Totally.
yeah.
Dude, God,
for
we
me to
gotta-
be upset about something like that, it has to be like
Yeah.
a total ripoff. Like, you know, not just like a, you know, we've all, learned something from somebody and said, hey, let's do this. So nothing, not a damn thing wrong with that, man.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion. Now, if it's just a absolute total, copycat, then that's a different
Violent nature. But no, I'm just playing. Now, don't butcher me in the chat. I'm just playing. So Matt, 2 years ago, we kind of know, what it was. We just talked a little bit about it. But 2 years ago, you had Friday the 13th Part 3 as your number 2, and I had Friday the 13th Part 7 as my number 2. So we did talk about your switcheroo there and everything, and that's so cool, dude, because you don't often get something as old as this switching with someone, like a number 1, not talking about a number 5 or a number 8 or a number 11, you know what I mean? That's common. But when to see something in an older film that you're just like, you know what, this is now my favorite, dude, that's fucking awesome.
I text you on like a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I think it was something stupid. It was like, I know it was in the middle of the week. But are we on my number 1?
Number 1, sir.
Yeah. And I just think that was cool. It's like, you're the first person I gotta tell this to. But it was always high up. But for me, guys, there's just something about it, man. For me, it's Friday the 13th Part 3 is my number 1. I could probably watch this damn thing once a day. I just enjoy watching this film. Richard Brooker. I wish, where I have this, beautiful Myers behind you guys, I have a Brooker coming in. I have a bust of Brooker. And I just love how he looks, man. His like hunchback, brutal traps.
Yeah.
Love how it's the first time he gets the mask. I know there's a lot of people who struggle with Chris's story in this film, like kind of like where you go into like, whatever I want, what Jason did or what he was. That doesn't really bother me really that much at all. Shelley, I love the characters. Shelley, the big brute boyfriend, Chris.
Is it me, or did you feel like he was going to be a little better fight for Jason than he was?
He should have been. I don't fault that on him, but yes,
no,
Michael, because he was a freaking stout dude.
Right. I mean, he pulled her up on the hay and everything. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, he was a bruiser. He was a bruiser. He was, and I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah, I've thought about that myself. Like, he was a stout freaking. Yeah, I've thought about that. I would have liked to see them maybe go at it a little bit more. But either way, just absolutely love this film, and there's some just shots for me that are just beautiful. Now I'll also go a little bit, sometimes I'll go behind the scenes and watch and look at like shots from behind the scenes. After he throws him in through the window and when he comes climbing in, I think that is a beautiful shot. When he comes climbing in that cabin. The spear, his first kill with the mask on, that spear to her face, dude, is badass.
Right in the eye.
And I love the ending with him hanging, her opening the barn door, and he's right there, pulls himself up like an animal, takes that mask off, looks even more fierce. So much I love about 3, man. I really can go on and on. When the axe goes in his head and then he puts the hands up, dude, and she freaks shit, which is what you would do.
Yeah.
Like, you've done everything to this guy. You put a fucking axe in his forehead and he's still coming at you like Frankenstein. You would freak.
You've hung him. You've hit him in the head with an axe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It wouldn't matter how big you are. Like, freaking Eddie Hall, the powerlifting champion, dude, he would freak. Like, it don't matter. Like, when someone does that and can come through anything, like, I absolutely love 3, dude. And I love his look. It's my number 1. Oh, yeah. And it was when I was watching it with my dad. I always liked it. I watched it one evening with my dad. We had a great time. I was like, yep, it's number 1. I got to call Michael. I got to call Michael and tell him.
It's changed. It is freaking changed.
That's what I said. I think that was like my first words. It's changed.
Freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, I so dig it.
Hell yeah, dude. It looks like random YouTube girl has popped in to say hi. What is going on? I hope you're having a great Sunday. A lot of talk in the chat about part 4. Well, guess what? That's where we're at right now, because my number 1 is Friday the 13th, part 4. This to me is anytime anyone says Friday the 13th, my head immediately goes here. I think, I've told the story multiple times about, me wanting to see it in a theater, not being old enough to go. And the first Friday I saw in theaters was part 5. And it didn't have Jason in it. That might be a reason why it's so high in there, because it was my first disappointment. It was my first horror movie, seeing in the theater, and it was Friday part 5. And Jason was not there. So, but yes, part 4 for me, we could talk. There's only one thing that bugs me about part 4. Actually, 2 things. One was, what the fuck, Trish? Roy even flat out told you he's killing me. He's killing me. Yet she runs up the stairs and then goes back. Literally making me scream at the screen. Like, what in the absolute fuck are you
How about
doing?
he says he's killing me? Like,
yes.
When I think, like, before he's got the first, like, real blow on him. Like, he says that.
To
so
me, Matt,
fast.
that was strong communication is what that was. He was telling Trish, like, he's killing me. So you should probably go, and not come back down here to see if he finished the job, because he's probably going to turn around to you. And then another scene I didn't really get was very close to that as well, to where Gordon runs up the stairs and then just jumps out the window. I never really understood that because Jason was clearly in the basement. It's not like Jason was chasing the dog out the window. So I never really understood what was up Gordon's ass and why Gordon jumped out the window. But the amount of good things in this movie that make it my favorite. I mean, the whole houses back and forth with Trish being chased, trying to help Tommy get out of the house. He ends up shaving his head. We always talk about the machete slide. This is Tom Savini at his best. Like, this is a great looking Jason. He's menacing. Ted White played Jason like a boss. And Ted White was like 58 playing Jason at this point. The cast alone, you had Judy Aronson, you had George McFly, Crispin Glover was in this one. You had Corey Feldman, and this was the start of Corey Feldman's like takeoff. It was this in Gremlins. Next thing you know, he's in Goonies. Next thing you know, he's in The Lost Boys. I mean, he's in a lot of stuff. He was in
Gremlins too?
Yeah, he was kidding Gremlins. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, Corey Feldman, dude. This was, I think Friday the 13th, part 4 and Gremlins came out right around the same time too. So, he did both of those like back to back and freaking fantastic. This one for me.
He was in Gremlins. Wow.
Yeah. This for me, man. The amount that's in this movie, dude, this is a constant. I can watch this whenever. You can't even. I've always wondered this too, and this is something. I always like to bring up. Separate characters. What was the guy's name in Halloween 2? that was in the hot tub with what was the character's name?
Bud.
Thank you. Who was a bigger sleaze, Bud or Axel? You know, Axel was the coroner
Axel.
that was watching the video while he's trying.
I'm gonna say Axel. I would say Axel, but I'd love to hear everyone else's opinion. I'd say Axel. But those are two good sleazy guys. Like that's another good topic. Sleaziest guys in horror films. Like,
I mean, absolutely. And I mean, you know, when he's with that girl in there, dude, and you know, not that I'm gonna, you know, harp on this, dude, but what does he say when Jason's hand, you know, reaches down and hits him and he jumps up and he says, like,
what doesn't he say?
Like,
Jesus,
like Jesus Christ jumping Christmas shit. That's what he says. And I laughed every single time that he fucking says that, dude. Like, you know, I haven't seen this movie in a couple of weeks. It really hasn't been that long for me, but he says something like jumping Jesus Christmas shit or something like that, dude.
He's a trip, dude.
Oh my God.
But while he's making out with this girl, he's got to turn on the TV with the girls bouncing their asses, doing like aerobics and shit. Like, dude, he's a fucking trip.
Oh my God, dude. But you know, his kill too was freaking awesome. Jason puts that bone saw across his neck, slashes it, and then spins his head, dude. Vicious, man. Ted White was vicious. The way he kills the nurse, you know, the way he smashes that guy's face in the shower. Ted White's palms were like freaking monsters, dude. Like his hands were
mitts.
Like they were like catcher's mitts, dude. I mean, literally freaking huge. You see Jason running in this one as well. You know, so many good things in this, dude. I absolutely love this movie. This for sure is my number one. And Matt,
and it's funny because a lot of people will be like, well, Jason never runs. He really always ran.
Yeah.
It wasn't till the later films where he did not run.
Right. Once he became zombified, you know, he became a zombie, which was, you know, part 6. That's when you know CJ Graham started the walk with him, and it makes sense. It does make sense because I'm one of the believers that Jason was alive until part 6. My thing has always been like, if he's a zombie, he's not going to grow anymore, and if he died as a kid, then if he was a zombie after that, he should have stayed a zombie kid. I don't feel like zombies grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But until then, dude, he ran.
Yeah.
It's one thing I really enjoy in 3 is where, you know, he's running all over, you know, chasing them.
Runs in part 2 also after Ginny.
You
know, he's definitely a runner.
Runs the midnight oil. Like they burn the midnight oil.
Yeah, when he was chasing Ginny, that was like a marathon. It even had like a time lapse as they were running. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
they had a damn time lapse for real.
Yeah.
So for anybody to say like Jason never runs, no, that's blasphemy. Dude can run like a son of a bitch.
He does. Catching up on the chat, James is saying the harpoon gun kill is his second favorite kill after the bow and arrow kill.
I love that, James. I love that because the harpoon is badass. You know, she's like, what does she say to him? Like, she thinks it's Shelly, right?
Mm-hmm.
At first, and then she's like, wait a minute, and then she says, who are you, right? And then bang, it's so I love that being your number 2, James. It's a badass kill, and for to be who's first with the mask, hell yeah, man. Drop her ass right in the water.
And then you know what else we didn't talk about in part 3? What was that couple at the beginning that got killed in part 3? Where the guy was eating like the rabbit food and freaking everything else at the beginning. They were the little shop owners and everything.
Oh, yeah. I loved him.
Yeah.
He looked like, I forget his name. And his wife had the curlers. She looked like she was about 20 and he was like 45.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was sneaking the donuts and I forget his name, but they were great too.
Man was agreeing. Axel was the bigger sleaze, for sure, out of them.
Yeah, because Bud was a sleaze, but he just kind of had like, yeah, Bud was a sleaze, just not on Axel's level.
No, Axel was something else. You remember what he said about the girl? He goes, "Pretty girl," and the guy was like, "Was," and he's like, "Still is." You know what I mean? That shit's like, Jesus, man. Like, fuck.
Yes.
Like, Axel, what's freaking wrong with you?
Like, yeah, you have been working in the corner room for way too long.
Oh my God.
It's like the guys that can like slap their sandwich on top of like a dead body while they're checking the charts, and you know.
Oh my God, dude.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
have their potato casserole.
Oh my God, dude. That's so good. That's so good. Dude, Friday, you know, we always, you know, have like little pop-up talks and talk a little bit about Friday here and a little bit of Friday there. But I knew, you know, coming into this, when we first went live, the amount of people that were here, dude, people still care about this. You know, they still care about Friday. They still want more Friday. And I can only hope that whoever at this point owns this franchise, which seems like multiple people have, you know, their hands in it at this point, get their shit together and realize that this is something that is potentially, you know, good, and not just try to rush out some bullshit because, you know, past has shown us that Friday likes to just cut corners, you know, with a lot of stuff. You know, it's, come on, guys. Like, we don't need another Jason Goes to Hell. We don't need another freaking Jason X. As much as I love Jason X for what it is, I'm happy with just one of them. You know what I mean? I can only hope that Camp Crystal Lake does something great. I really
we
do.
need something serious.
We do. Yeah, and I think Halloween 2018 did that very well. I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't like Halloween 18 as much as I do, but it went back to the original, formula, and it gave us the setup for something else. And I would love for Friday to do something along those lines. It doesn't have to go back to anything. It doesn't have to continue anything else. It could be its own thing, but put the love into it, you know, develop the story, make people care about the characters, and make Jason fucking menacing. Give us something to be afraid of again.
At this time, with how long he's been gone, it absolutely can be its own thing. I think that would probably be even best. You know, what are you going to continue from right now? Like, I'm with you, Michael. I can't wait for it.
The only thing I can see them continuing, you know, with that is if they pull a Halloween and say, okay, forget this many of them exist. You know what I mean? And maybe say like 5 on doesn't exist. And let's continue from 40 years later, 50 years later, and do it that way.
I think that'd be very smart.
You know, bring Corey Feldman back and develop the story to where, you know, Jason, he comes back. It doesn't matter how much time it's been, you know, Jason came back. And I think you can do that. I think it would be confusing to people at this point with the amount of time that has gone by with it. Friday hasn't been as in your face as Halloween has been, you know, over the years. Halloween is notorious for starting new timelines. You know, they did it 3 or 4 times in that franchise, to where Friday, all it really did was a remake. You know what I mean? So Friday, I give Friday that. They've continued on. You know, the only questionable things I have is, where is Jason in Hell compared to Jason X? Like, how does that really work out? Yeah. But it wasn't until New Line took over that became a situation. Yeah. So it's just like, and
do you think they'll be able to get, you know, Corey back if he's not?
He would. I mean, I know he would. He wants to, but I don't
like Michael Jackson. And
I just don't think they do it. You know what I mean? Like, all I'm saying is, you know, they could potentially, like, that would be an idea to where I think it could work. But I don't think they're going to do that, man. I think they're coming up with their, you know, their own stuff. All we can hope for is this guy really works out from Welcome to Derry, the guy that is taking control of Camp Crystal Lake, and them and A24, and they put out something good, something to get us excited again about Friday the 13th and to get a movie up on the screen. You know, that's ultimately what I want, is that. But
hell yeah.
Dude, this was fun tonight, man. It was fun to take a look back. It's always fun when we do these, kind of take a look back and bringing the big boys back out, man. We did it with Michael a couple weeks ago.
Very
we did it
fun, Michael.
with Jason again, and we'll do it with Freddie again here in the next coming month or so. Can't wait to bring it back, man. And thanks for coming tonight, man. Did you have anything that you want to talk about before we got out of here? Any Mad Matt stuff?
Dude, no, I don't. It's been great to be back. And only thing I want to say is that I'll be back next Sunday as well. I want to get a couple weekends in, because my work schedule, when we hit Christmas and New Year's, will be kind of busy. But no, man, just that it's been great, Michael, to be back. I love this show.
Oh yeah.
And the Sundays that I miss are not due to anything about just having time with some family and stuff. But love you guys. And this was a blast, man.
Oh yeah. Just quick plug before we leave. If you guys want to help out the channel, go over to Patreon. The link has been posted a few times today. If one of my mods can throw that up, you can help support Movies and Beyond over there. Or if you're not a channel member, you can click the join button down below your screen there. Become a channel member. Channel members who are in the chat, channel member and Patreon that are still watching or watching on replay, be on the lookout for a post because we are watching Black Christmas this week. Definitely looking forward to that. For all of our channel members and Patreon members, we will definitely be getting into that. I can't wait to do that. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. And Matt, thank you again for being here, my friend, and for everybody else.
Absolutely, man.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right. Peace.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.
Hey, you